Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So if you are a complete beginner to video editing and want to learn basics of one of the best editing softwares, Adobe Premiere Pro, then this is the right video for you. No doubt that Adobe Premiere Pro is one of the best editing softwares, but it may seem a bit complicated for beginners. So in this video, I'm going to show you all that you need to know to get started as a complete beginner in a very simple and straightforward way. And after watching this full video, I am sure you will know all the basics of Adobe Premiere Pro. And then at the end, I would share some very useful and important tips and information. So let's begin. So we will start with creating a new project in Adobe Premiere. We will open Adobe Premiere and click on New Project. We will select the title of it and also where we want the project to be stored on our computer. And next time when we do another project, system will auto-save in the same path. Let all the remaining settings be as it is and we'll click on OK. And now this is like what your screen appears at the beginning when you start your first new project. So next step is to import your files to Premiere Pro. And for this I'll click on the import option here and I'll select all my files which I need to bring in over here. You can import your files individually or you can select the entire folder itself. Also you can create bins and then import your videos and audio files. Like I have created one bin for video and I'm importing all my video files there and one for audio. You can do this process if you have multiple different videos and audio files. You can select the list view or the icon view. Like you see, this is the icon view and this is the list view. But I personally prefer the list view because it looks more clear and organized to me. And the next step is to create a sequence. Now creating a sequence basically means setting the frame rate and resolution for your video clips in the sequence. So for the editing mode, I'll select custom and then for frames per second, I'll select 23.976, which is kind of standard in the cinematic field. And then for the frame size, I'm going to select 1920 by 1080. And then here I'll select square pixels. And that's pretty much all that I'm going to do for now. And I'll click OK. And you see that I have actually created this sequence. So next we'll be putting all our video clips on the timeline. Now for this I'll double click on the video I want on my timeline. It is being shown over here. I'll select the part that I want for my final video. You can choose shortcut key I on the keyboard and that will be your in point and O as the end point of your video. And then just export that part which you want for your video. Another way is to directly pull over your video on your timeline and then make all the necessary cuts here itself. So this is what I personally do. So we have this razor tool over here for making necessary cuts and I'll use that. So suppose I don't want this part, I'll exclude it and then I'll ripple delete it. So what happens is that the part which I don't want gets excluded and the remaining parts then join together. Similarly, I'll do this for all my remaining clips. So now that we have all the video clips on our timeline, the next thing would be some basic editing tools. So the first tool is the selection tool and the shortcut to this tool is V on your keyboard. We basically use this one to make selection of our content while we are in the editing mode. Next, what we are going to use a lot is the razor key, which I've already discussed before, and the shortcut to this key is C on your keyboard. Next, we will move on to speed adjustment of our clips. So now I'll show you how to adjust the speed of your clips. So suppose I want this part of my video in a faster pace. I'll simply click on this and then go to speed duration, and I'll adjust it to suppose say 200%. And now you see this has increased the speed. I will now adjust the gap which is created because of shortening the clips by right clicking and then choosing the ripple delete option. And similarly, we can also slow down the speed of any clip you want. So this is how you adjust the speed. Next, we move on to effects and transitions. Now there are many inbuilt effects and transitions within Adobe Premiere. I'll go to this effects tab here, click. Then we see that there are so many effects. I'm going to go to video transitions, and then you can see all the different transitions that are installed inside Premiere by default. Now I'm going to use the cross dissolve one, which is probably one of the most popular transitions, and I would just drag and drop it between two clips like this. If you want to change the duration of the transition, just click on it and you can set its duration. After applying this transition, you see how beautifully and smoothly the two clips fade into each other. You have different video effects as well here. You can choose from all these different effects that are already there. So for example, I want to add this Gaussian blur effect. And now we'll go to this tab on the left hand corner top. Blurriness, for example, I'm going to put 30 there. And now you can see that it has blurred my video. So this is where you can actually change all these different settings of your effects. And there are several audio transitions as well. Very simple yet very effective. So next we will see how to add text to our videos. For this, first we have to select the portion of the video where we want to enter the text, and then click over here and enter the text. And you see on the left hand corner there are several options, like you can change your font style, you can change the size of your text, and then you can also change how wide the characters are apart from each other over here. You can change the color of the text, its opacity, you can drag and place your text at any desired place you want on the video. We can drag and adjust the length of the duration for which we want the text to appear on our video. And there are a bunch of other settings as well, but that's pretty much that you need to know as a beginner. Next, we will add some music or sound effects. So now I'm going to show you how you can add some music and sound effects to your video. If you've already imported your audio file over here, just place it like this. If you have your audio file stored at some location, you can directly pull over and place it like this. Now, some additional points I want to discuss here. Suppose you want to use the audio imported and mute the original audio associated with the main video. So just click on this mute option. Now, suppose you want to use both the audios, then just do not mute any of the audio channels. And the third thing could be that you want to use the audios partially. So what you can do is that use this razor key to delete the unwanted part of the audio. Now to change the volume of it, you can simply click on it and go to this left corner of your screen, effects section, and then click on volume and make it lower or higher by clicking on the level there. Suppose I increase it by plus 10. Let's see how it plays. And you see how it has increased the volume. If I reduce the volume by minus 10, so the same goes with sound effects. You can just go there and drag it and drop it in one of the audio channels and increase or decrease its volume. And next I'm going to move on to some basic coloring. So now I'm going to show a little bit of basic coloring on how to color grade your video and change the look of that. So to do that, I'm going to go into this color section over here. And once I click on that, we see that there are these options on the right side of my screen. Now I'll not go much into depth on this, but I'll show you all that you need to know as basics of color grading to make your video appear a little bit better. You see this is the lumetric color option appearing right over here, and if you don't see this, just go to Windows and make sure that the lumetric color option is ticked. So I first want to add a little more contrast to it, and to do that I'm going to raise the highlights and I'm going to be lowering the shadow. So you can see how immediately this has added more contrast to this particular clip of mine. Next, if I go to this creative tab, we have so many different looks. Like these are like filters for your video, and these are like your Instagram filters. And then we have these adjustments like sharpen, vibrance, saturations. Next we have these options of curves, color wheels and match, but I'm not going to go into these because it will take a lot of time, and I believe what I have already shown you is sufficient for you to know as a beginner. So that's all for color grading. So now let's move on to exporting the video. So once all your editing is done, we will go on to the export media option over here. And then this is what is going to pop up, and you have to make sure that the whole video that you have created is selected. Now for format, I'll be choosing H264, which is kind of standard for all sorts of videos. And then for the preset 1080p full HD, and then I have given the file name and the path where I want the output file to be stored. Export video and audio, both the options should be ticked. Rest options I'll let it remain as it is, and then I'll click on this use maximum render quality so you can get a little bit more better extra quality out of your video. And I'll click on export, and it's going to start exporting your video, and then once it is done, it's going to be at your chosen location. So this is an end-to-end on how to edit your videos in Adobe Premiere Pro. So now I'll be moving on to the next part of my video where I'll be sharing with you some very useful suggestions and information on some of the features of Adobe Premiere Pro which will really be helpful to you. But before I start, I would request you to please subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to me. Okay, so now let's move on. The first thing is to keep your files and folders organized. By this I mean that your video clips and your audio files should be organized in the source folder itself, so that when you're editing it will be much faster and smoother process. Next is resetting to default layout. Now while we're working on different tabs in Premiere Pro, we get our layout changed. So to get back to our default layout, just go over here and click on this option, reset to saved layout, and we are back onto our previous screen. Next we will see how to unlink your audio and video files. So if you want to unlink the original audio from your video, you can just simply select and then click on this unlink option. You can unlink all the files together at one go also. Now unlinking will be useful if suppose you want to increase the speed of your video. So if you're unlinking your audio, you can do that without hampering your audio file. The next and the most important one is how to convert your 16:9 ratio, that is your horizontal video, into 9:16, that is vertical video. So for this, what we have to do is we have to go to the sequence which we have created over here and click on the auto reframe sequence, and then we click on this aspect ratio as 9:16, create. So you see how it has transformed my horizontal video into a vertical video. Now suppose I want to make this window full size and see how the video plays. I'll press the tilde key on my keyboard and see how my video is now converted into a vertical format. Next we move on to clip mismatch warning. Now right at the starting of our project, we can face sometimes this type of a warning message. This happens when our clip frame rate and our sequence frame rate both are not matching with each other. So what we can do is that we can simply go ahead with this option to ensure that all our clips will be of the same frame rate which we have set. So this was all for this video. I hope you have found this video to be helpful. I've tried to make it as simple as possible and included all the relevant details in this short video. If you liked it, please don't forget to like, share and comment. And yes, please do subscribe to this channel. Take care, stay safe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.